everybody. It's been a while. I had intentions of making a video or two last week, but getting sick kind of got in the way of that. But I'm back now, and I'm going to be doing a blonde hair color request that I had. It's actually a color I had on the image I did in my pleats and folds video in October. And somebody asked about that hair color combo, so we're going to use it today on Cheeky Cherry Pie from the Greeting Farm. And she's stamped on Copic X-Press It with the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I'm going to be starting with YR20. And I'm just going to start laying the color down. This is my lightest shade. I always, personal preference for me, tend to work light to dark instead of dark to light. It's, can be different for everyone. There's not really a right or wrong with this. I'm going to come from the tips, working up, and I'm going to leave kind of a halo of white where I want the glossiest part of her hair to be at the end. I'm going to leave that white to start with. Then I'm going to come up from the ears, pull up. This side is going to be a little bit darker because I chose with her to have the light source coming in from the left, just since that was kind of the direction the body was facing. So when I colored her skin tone in, I kind of followed that light source. So we're going to try to do the same with the hair. I'm going to get it up here, and I'm always, pulling in terms of, the root source on the hair and trying to follow that natural grain down around the head. And then on this part of her hair, I'm kind of picturing it as kind of the little roll curls. So I'm going to put some color in here and then below, and I'm going to leave the white here so I have a glossy accent going kind of across the middle of that curl where it would be bumping out towards the light source. And I'm going to do the same over here, even though we don't see much of it. Just like that. Okay. Oh, I forgot right over her. There we go. Now I'm going to go to my YR21. And I'm going right over everything I just did, just not pulling down as far as I did with the 20. Kind of cutting that space in half and just getting the color on underneath this headband, pulling up. From here. And then it's going to be heavier on this side with less light hitting it. From there, spin a bit, and pull from that part, kind of where the hair is growing out, in both directions, and then from her ear over here, and then on these little roll curls, just getting a little bit of color on. Going to go all the way back behind this one since it's opposite that light source, and leave that more white over on that side. Okay, now my YR23, and it's the same process, just even less. So, we're just kind of hitting like little shadow. This is not our darkest, it's our darkest blonde that we're putting on, or orange technically, the YR. Which is gonna, we're gonna give a golden blonde with this color combo, which I thought would be nice on Cheeky Cherry, since I'm gonna be using her for a Thanksgiving card, I think. Anyway, where was I going with this? with the blondes, just in general, it helps to have a light hand when you're coloring. You want to kind of restrain yourself from putting too much color on, because of course the more color you put on, the darker the hair color is going to be. And if you want a nice blonde, you want to be careful with that, because then you could easily fall into getting more of a light brown or red cast hair if you go too heavy with your markers, depending on which ones you're using. Okay. Now, to really give myself some contrast in this hair color combination, I'm jumping to an earth tone, the E33. And that's just really going to give us a nice visual difference from our lightest areas on this hair and to the darkest. And again, not putting a lot on here. We're just using this to create the shadows, you know, like behind her face and ear and the hair bow, kind of where it curls away from that light source. A really light hand. If we put too much of this on here, it's going to start browning up her hair real quick. Just getting a little bit on. Okay. Okay, now I'm just going to work my way back down to the YR23 and right over top the E33, pulling a little further than I did the first time. Always trying to follow the grain of that hair, like with these bangs, they're kind of swerving this way. So I'm trying to follow that as much as I can. Pulling up here. And then on this side we can be a little bit, heavier handed, just because we want to give that illusion that there's less light hitting over there. Around on this little curl. Okay. Down to the YR21. And I'm not starting all the way back on the E33, it's just kind of in that 23 area and pulling down, because I don't want to lose a lot of that 33, the contrast. So okay, starting in that middle area there and pulling. Same up here, not all the way from the roots, just in that 23 section. Flip her around, pull from this direction, same here. And so you can see we're starting to fill in that white area that we left in the beginning, and it's going to start getting color on it now. And that's going to keep it nice and light until the very end. We're not going to worry about getting too much color on there and ruining that gloss that we want to create. Now to my YR20, my lightest shade. And again, not starting all the way back here, just kind of having that 21 we just laid on. And blending in. Okay. And this is where you decide how much of that white you want to leave white for a more high gloss sheen, or if you want to fill it in with color just so it's that kind of subtle tone on tone, light against dark. I generally fill in my white. Blondes are kind of the exception. Sometimes they're the ones I'll usually leave some more white showing than I usually do, but that's again totally up to you and the look you want to create. Okay, so now we've basically got the hair done. The only thing I would do now is, then this is again totally optional, is if you want to create the strands of hair that kind of give you your contrast of highlights and lowlights in the hair. I take my darkest color, and for this one I'm going to use both the YR23 and the E33, but I'm going to start with the E23. And that's where I'm going to, with just the very tip of the pen, really light, flick the color down through all the areas, the dark, light, and medium tone hair color areas. And just as quick as you can with a really light hand, get those strands going on there. And we're going to do the same back here. And you know, you can definitely follow the lines that if they're provided in the image, but you can always create some extras of your own just by where you decide to put the marker. I'm going to do the same, following the curve here around, and then follow that little curve there. I'm even going to flip her around, pull a few up from this direction too. And like I said, I'm going to do just a few in the E33 as well. Normally that would, I'd just do the one, but since I kind of skipped from color family to color family, I wanted to get a little bit of the brown going on here too. And it's going to be even less than that 23 that I just did. It's mostly going to be on those lines that were provided. Maybe just a few others. Flip around. Just a few down here. Okay, not too shabby. And this is where you just play around until you got the contrast that you want and you're happy with on your image. This little gal, getting close to calling finished. Just a little bit more here on the roots, I think. Nice. Okay, so now I have a nice little honey blonde colored hair that you can see there. And I hope you liked that video. I'm going to try to get another blonde request done here in a minute, so I'll see you again soon. Bye.